Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Today is April the 14th, 2020, and Florida Realtors has just put out a new COVID-related form that I need to make you aware of, and I wanted to have you guys grab that real quick. So let me pull it up. It just came out literally today. If you're watching this on FHR University, there should be a copy of this document, this highlighted and marked up document right below the video here so you can download it as an example. Let me just read this or the notes that I have in here. You might want to print that out and have it, but it can be for your reference. And this should explain most everything, and then I'll show you a few things down below. All right, my notes up here says this form became available on 4/14/2020, specific to the COVID-19 situation. If you have listings where the owners are present and living in the premises, you should have the sellers complete this form and state, as of the date of this signing, that they are compliant with the specifications listed in the agreement. You need to read through that, and they need to read through that more importantly. They are also committing to making you aware of any changes in their status that would affect what they are signing now. You need to be sure that the seller has provided a copy of this acknowledgement and be able to prove that a copy was delivered to them. As a listing agent, you should then attach this acknowledgement to the MLS listing, and before approving each showing, the buyer and or their agent must provide you with a signed copy of this agreement specific to this property and this owner before they can show. Also, since no address is listed in the form, I would place it after the owner's name, as in the example below. You can see where I put it down here, Samuel and Susan Seller of 123 Main Street, Palm Harbor, Florida 34683. All right. You should keep a file of this signed document back from the showing agent before they can show in a file specific to this address, so you can keep record of it to prove that you have that. If you are showing property, then you should prepare your buyers to sign one of these agreements. And even if the listing site has not provided one, you in the attachments, you should request it. And if they still will not produce, your buyer should still acknowledge that they are proceeding and signing it, if and only if they do so under their own free will and they elect to go ahead and show if the seller has not completed it. As of right now, there's nothing mandatory in this. I would just highly encourage us to do these things in this special circumstance that we find ourselves in. Vacant properties aren't necessarily necessary. However, we all know that even if you're showing a property and the buyer comes in after someone else has shown it, there's no way to know what has gone on. So, as always, practice caution. Like I said, you can't control who's been in there before. If the seller hasn't cleaned it, if some unknown people have been in before you and you go to show it, then you just got to make sure that your clients are aware of the risks and they are taking those on under their own free will. And as always, be as safe and protective as possible, but make sure they understand this and have your buyers, if you're representing buyers, sign this 100% of the time regardless. If you're a seller, have them sign 100% of the time regardless. Even on your existing listings, you need to go back and get these signed now. And then specifically on properties where the property is occupied and the owners are living there, whether they be tenants as well. And then finally, let's go through what it says. Obviously, Future Home Realty listing brokerage. If you were the showing agent, you would put a Future Home Realty, and you could also put comma your name as an agent just to protect yourself even better there. Not a bad idea. Owner, seller, landlord, as I talked about before. Prospect, if you're just showing it, then you would put the prospect name in here, Billy Buyer. The owner, you can just read through this, recognize the current situation we're in with COVID, and they owner has declared desires that agent bring the prospects to the owner's property as requested by interested prospects to the extent authorized by law. That means since we are, unless there's a total shutdown where we're no longer deemed allowed to do this, then you can't do it. And you can go through all these other things. It does say that everybody's going to use their best efforts to minimize the risk to themselves and others. And if there are any other changes in anybody's condition, they make them aware. The that the prospect owner, that they are not aware of any issues with any person or property that pose a health risk to each other, the agent or broker, or all occupants. and then the prospect owners agree to notify others who have accessed the property if they become aware of information that poses a danger previously unknown. So if there's a change in the situation. And then we agreed to comply with all the current version of the Center for Disease, the CDC guidelines, while accessing properties, and doing that. Now, assumption of risk, this is kind of trying to attempt to cover ourselves here, that the buyer or the prospect and or the owner agree that they are waiving their rights to any issues that may occur after doing this. And this is where you'd have the owner sign it when you're doing the listing. And then on the other end of it, their owner's signature is already here. The prospect's signature should come in if they're wanting to show your property. And then you receive that back, authorize, give them access to show the property, however that might look, and then file this in a file folder somewhere on your computer with specific to this address. So hopefully that answers that. If you do have questions, I'll be talking about them in our virtual office hours as well coming up. But I wanted to get this out, so it should be here readily available. We'll put it out to the Facebook pages, also to FHR University right away. Thanks, guys. Hope you're having a great day. Stay safe and keep at it. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye-bye.